Hey, what is up, guys? Bluntguts here. This is a Watcher of Realms video. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe if you do enjoy my content. And I hope you're going to enjoy this because I sure as hell am. This is going to be a fun one. I'm super excited about this hero. I've got Aeris up on the screen right now. He is one of the new heroes that will be coming in the month of December. Actually, I do believe he is going to be on a banner on December 28th. Now, that's not confirmed, but that is the word on the street. That is what the leakers have told us. He is going to be coming on the banner that comes out right after Christmas. So, Merry Christmas, y'all. This is gonna be a good one. So we get a ton of fighters in this game, as you all know. It feels like every single new hero that is released is a fighter, and I'm just kind of tired of it. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. We've gotten so many redundant units recently. Lots of single tile range, single target damage fighters. We just don't need anymore, right? Well, enter Aeris, who is a long range AoE magic damage based fighter. Really cool. I do love this hero. I think he is going to be quite solid in a lot of different areas. He is a Watchguard esotericist hero. He is very similar to Valkyra, who was already kind of unique, but there's a lot of parallels in Aeris's kit, both in his skills as well as his awakenings. So we're going to go through both of those. We're going to go through the skills and the awakenings. I am going to talk through his kit. I am going to talk about where I do think he is going to be viable. GvG. He is very clearly a GvG. I don't want to say all-star. We got to do some testing before I make that determination, but I am very confident at the very least he is going to be a solid addition to a Watchguard or Esotericist team, probably Esotericist knowing GvG. That's really what you see more often than not. I think in a Cyrus comp, he is going to be very potent. So let's go take a look at his base stats. All right, guys, I have got his stats up on the screen right here. First thing I want to call your attention to is his attack range. That is 3 tiles in front of him. Now, one thing I know, we're going to get to the skills and the awakenings later, but I will tell you right now, at A0, he is going to have, during the ultimate, a 4-tile range. If you get into A1, during the ultimate, he will have a 5-tile range, but a 4-tile range during his, I guess, outside of the ultimate. Looking at his base stats beyond that, he's got 21,834 HP, which is very solid. It's not quite as high as some of the other fighters that we have seen recently. I'm thinking Twyla, I'm thinking Kagiri, I am thinking of, shoot, what is the one? Lord Phineas. All of those had close to 30,000 HP base. That is not the case here. He is clearly somebody that is intended to sit behind a tank, but still pretty respectable fighter HP at almost 22,000 HP. His attack, very solid, especially for an AoE magic damage dealer. 5,008 attack at A0. That is very solid. As far as the rest of his stats, 3,571 defense is actually really high for a fighter. I think most of them sit underneath 3K, like between 2 and 3K. He is well over that. Now, I don't know that that's really going to come into play, because I don't think he's going to have the other stats to really make it. You're not going to be able to use him as a tank, and clearly the HP is lacking, but maybe they decided we're going to lower the HP and increase the defense on this guy. I don't know that that's going to do anything for him, but you know. One thing I will note here, and this is not relevant to GvG, but it is going to be relevant every place else that you use him. He does have 26 cost. I think he is the highest cost fighter in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I can't think of one that is higher than that. That is exceptionally high, especially since he is not an Arbiter, which is where you usually see these like massively inflated costs. So yeah, that is going to be an issue for him, but it's not in GvG, so I wouldn't worry about it there. And I do think that is going to be his kind of his home, his base. That is where he's going to be the best. Maybe Arena as well, I could see, and there's some niche uses for him as well. Like I think you could use him in Gear Dungeon 1, for example, in the top lane. That's an option for him. But in any case, let's move on to the rest of his stats. Attack interval is at 2.5 seconds. Looking down at the rest of this, we do have 150% crit damage as base. That is standard. He doesn't have any inherent crit rate. And then as far as his rage regen, it is kind of on the lower side. I'd say 12 rage regen auto per second, and then his basic attack is going to restore 10 rage per basic attack. He does have a very low ultimate cost, though, so that's something you should keep in mind. Let's go take a look at his skills. All right, guys, I have Aeris on the screen right here. Let's talk about his talent. When deployed, immediately triggers Mighty Thrust. And Mighty Thrust deals AoE magic damage to up to 5 enemy units ahead, including airborne units, which is awesome. Mighty Thrust is going to be triggered every 5 basic attacks, and it deals 200% damage. Very, very cool. Very reminiscent of the Watchguard Lord, who we all either love or hate, or love to hate, or we hate to love. I don't know. Ingrid has a very similar skill where every 5th basic attack she does trigger and a special attack, basically. Regardless of which form she's in, she has a special attack for both her single target and AoE modes. Aeris functions very similarly. Now, he only has the AoE version here, but it does kind of correspond with his Watchguard affiliation, so that's not all that surprising. Very cool skill. Nice damage. Nice to get that extra bonus damage every 5th basic attack. Let's go take a look at his basic attack. First thing I want to call your attention to, he does have a 4-tile range in front of him right now. Now, this one, the one that is deployed on the screen, is A5, so he is getting the benefit of that extra range at A1. He will, sub A1, have a 3-tile range in front of him when he's outside the ultimate, 4-tile range during the ultimate when you get into A1, 4-tile range base, 5-tile range when he is in his ultimate window. So let's take a look at his basic attack here. So, deals 120% AoE magic damage one time to up to 5 enemies in range. You can see the range up there as well. Pretty standard here. I think the key thing to note is not the 120% AoE damage, which is pretty standard for most basic attacks, but he is going to be attacking up to 5 enemies at once. That's how you kind of do the damage calculation, meaning that there are 5 enemies that he can hit. He is going to be able to do 600% damage per basic attack, which is pretty substantial. I mean, it's very solid damage. Let's take a look at his ultimate. Judgment Day. 600 rage cost ultimate when fully skilled. 500 initial rage, so he is going to have it up very, very quickly. If you do have him in an Esotericist comp, where you're using Venoma or Cyrus as the Lord, you will have it up immediately upon deployment. So, increases the hero's damage by 60%, and I should say it is a 25-second duration when fully skilled up. Also is going to increase his attack range by 1. During the ultimate, basic attacks can target airborne units. Reduces the number of basic attacks required to trigger the talent by 2, so that's pretty cool. So Mighty Thrust every 2 attacks, which is great. The ultimate's area of effect turns into Golden Trammel. And Golden Trammel reduces the movement speed of enemies in the affected area by 50%. So you get a little slow, which is great. It means that if you are in GvG and something is approaching you, then you are going to get a little snare going on, a little slow going on. Let's use the ultimate. We can take a look at the animation here. Pretty damn cool. I like the way that his animation looks. It kind of looks like turbocharged Valkyrie. You can see him like kind of flying forward, and then it kind of returns as well, which is really, really cool. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Very cool looking hero. I like what he does. Let's go take a look at his passive. All right, Unrelenting Will, his first passive. During the ultimate, he triggers Destiny's Decree one time every 4 seconds, dealing 100% AoE magic damage. I'll trigger his ultimate right here so we can take a look at that, but also toss up Destiny's Decree up on the screen here. That locks onto one enemy anywhere on the battlefield, dealing AoE magic damage one time to the target and up to 5 enemies around. Very, very cool. Take a look here, see if we can't see it. It should pop off at some point. Target somebody. There we go. You saw it kind of shot down on the units clustered to the left of him right there. It's just an extra damage, extra AoE damage. Feeds into his kit. He is clearly, he's not a single target damage dealer. He is an AoE damage dealer, which is just fine. We got plenty of single targets already. Let's take a look at his next passive. Righteous Fury. Each time Mighty Thrust is triggered, increases the hero's attack by 10% for 10 seconds. Each time Destiny's Decree is triggered, increases the hero's attack by 10% for 10 seconds. These attack increase effects can stack. So my take on this is that these 2 different effects will stack with each other, but they don't stack repeatedly of themselves. So for example, Destiny's Decree, multiple are not going to give you, you're going to get 2 off within 10 seconds, right? But I don't think that's going to mean you're going to get 20% just from those. I think that you will get the Destiny's Decree attack bonus increase. You'll also get the Mighty Thrust attack bonus increase. But I don't think that you're going to be able to get up to 50% attack, for example, or something like that, if you do have a bunch of Mighty Thrusts within a short period or anything like that. That's my take. I don't know. We don't have any way to really look at his attack dynamically within a fight, so you know, your guess is as good as mine. I guess somebody could math it out and see, but I'm not gonna be doing that right here. So that is my take. And that is his kit, guys, in a nutshell. So we're about to get the wall to collapse here, and he's going to get wiped out. But very cool hero. I really do love his skill set. I think he is going to be really, really good, like I said, in GvG in particular. And anytime you do need an AoE magic damage dealer, I think he is going to be quite solid as well. Ground-based, I should say. A fighter who does AoE magic damage. There he goes down. Aeris goes down. Let's go take a look at his Awakenings. All right, guys, let's see what getting extra copies of Aeris will get you at the end of the day. This is a key part of this game, in my opinion, is knowing how far it makes sense to pull for a specific unit. We are going to, like I said, have him up on the 28th for, he'll be alongside the Wukong banner, which is interesting. In the past, when we have had a exclusive, we did have a 2x 15x on the alternate banner. So, be interesting to see. He might be somebody that you might be able to get multiple copies of easier than you would on a normal 15x, because obviously twice as many legendaries should mean twice as many opportunities to get copies of him. I'm not sure that's going to supersede the need to pull like crazy on the Wukong banner, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see. We haven't gotten any hard info. He's not on the Wukong, is not on the test server right now, so I do not know exactly what he's going to look like upon release, but as soon as I do, I will get that out there, because obviously all of these different things, when we've got all these different banners coming together at the same time, it is going to weigh into our decision about where we're going to spend our resources. So, all right, guys, let's talk about the A1 here. Increases basic attack range by 1. Golden Trammel also inflicts damage reduction on enemies. So we click, remember, Golden Trammel reduces the movement speed of enemies in the affected area by 50%. Basically, when he activates his ultimate, his entire attack range turns into this Golden Trammel area where he is going to reduce the movement speed of enemies by 50%. He's also, on A1, going to be reducing their damage by 20%, which is massive in a game mode like GvG. It's going to make it a nightmare for the opponent because they're not going to be able to do as much damage. I do like that. It's really, really solid. Definitely an Awakening that you want. I think, honestly, as much as I like the rest of his Awakenings, this one is the key one. You need the A1, in my opinion, to make him really functional in GvG. The other ones are nice, and they will help you, but this is the one that is by far the most important. Glad they put it on the A1. It's going to be relatively easy to get. I'd say that relatively easy, but still probably not necessarily easy. It really depends on your resources and, where you want to spend them. But let's take a look at the A2 here. So A2, pretty standard, plus 300 attack. I do like this. I would prefer this over the 5% attack bonus. If you watch my other videos, you know that the kind of the threshold for when plus flat attack is better than 5% bonus attack is at 6,000 base attack. So since he only has 5,000 base attack, this plus 300 attack is superior to a 5% attack boost. So it is the right one. Do like that. The A3 here. During the ultimate, Mighty Thrust deals an extra 100% damage 1 time. So it should be dealing, I believe that means that it deals 300% damage. I'm not 100% on that, though. I'm going to be honest with you. It could mean that the first time you get Mighty Thrust during the ultimate, it's going to deal 100% extra damage, which is relatively subpar. I have done some testing. I will say I didn't see a big increase at the A3. So I don't think that this is a very significant damage boost. But at the end of the day, an extra 100% damage is nothing. It's going to hit up to 5 units, so that could be an extra 500% damage if you do have 5 units that you can hit with this skill. So something to keep in mind. The A4, Penetration, that's the best one. That's the one we want. Ignore magic resist, make him hit harder against high magic resist units. That is really key, especially in GvG, where people are going to be sending Pharaoh Guards and other units that have high magic resist against you. That's going to help you overcome kind of BP discrepancies and that kind of thing. Finally, the A5. Mighty Thrust and Destiny's Decree ignore 20% of the target's magic resist. So remember, Destiny's Decree basically sends down AoE magic damage on one unit, and then, or I guess based around 1 unit, I should say, and does splash damage to everybody around them. Mighty Thrust is triggered every 5th basic attack or every 2nd one when you are in the ultimate window. So you're going to get basically magic resist ignore. When you couple this with the A4, that's going to put you at 28% magic resist ignore, which is really, really nice. You throw in some other debuffs and things like that, and then you really be cooking with gas. But it's really going to make him more effective against high magic resist targets. That's really all you need to know. It is big. It is nice. Is it essential? I don't think so. But, you know, it depends on the level of GvG that you're at. I mean, if you're like in a top 5 guild, yeah, you probably want him A5. I mean, but you probably already knew that, right? So, you want all the heroes A5. Well, there you have it, guys. I'm super excited about this guy. I think you should be too. I do think he is going to be kind of like a Valk 2.0 to a certain degree. Now, there are some things that he does, or that he doesn't do, I should say, that she does. She brings some crazy utility. She brings a magic resist debuff that for anybody that enters her attack range, that is huge. She also is going to provide a res, and if you have her awakened high enough, a damage boost for your your team. And it's like if a tank dies, she is able to res a tank and add, especially when you combine it with like Unyielding and Lily and Carnelian and those kinds of things, that is going to really make your defense a lot more of a headache for the opposition. He doesn't do that, but from my early testing, it does seem that he does significantly more AoE damage than she does. Now, there may be a certain situation where if she gets, say, like a huge shield or something like that, she might out DPS him, but in situations where you aren't in control, like on a GvG defense, he is going to significantly outdamage her. That is what I have seen, and that is whether she is a Northerner or an Arbiter. But that does bring me to my next point, and that is that there's really no need to pick and choose between these two. They have very similar skill sets, but they have completely separate factions. So you're not really going to be put in a situation where you're going to be bringing either or. I think both of them are going to have their place. So he is a Watchguard Esotericist, while she is a Northerner and an Arbiter. The good news about that is that both of them are a member of a very prominent GvG faction right now, meaning that she can be an Arbiter, he can be an Esotericist, and you could bring them into teams that are already super, super effective. But there's just so much crossover there as far as their range, as far as their Awakenings, getting extra attack range in the Awakenings and during the ultimate, as far as being able to hit air units during the ultimate, and in his case, with some of his skills, just a really solid hero. Really, really solid hero. I think he's going to be really good if you are a GvG player. I think he's somebody that you want to make sure you get. I would say if you are going to get him, you want to get him to A1 at least. I think the rest of it is just gravy. It would be nice, but you don't necessarily need it to make him functional. But really cool hero. In any case, guys, I do appreciate you all tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope this is informative. Let me know what you think in the comments. I am going to be putting out a damage test sometime in the next couple days. I do have the data all set up, so I just have to kind of record my findings and put the video together. But what else are you guys interested in seeing right now? Unfortunately, I can't show you Sun Wukong. I would love to. He's not on the test server quite yet, but I do want to be doing some videos on Lyra, and I know there's another unit that just came out. The Fusion is going to be coming out as well. But who are you guys interested in seeing? Let me know so I can prioritize that for my next video. Thank you all for tuning in. Please do like and subscribe. I will catch you all next time.